Welcome live Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 to the greatest show on the earth, After Hours, RX Muscle. Tune in now. Woo!
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
I haven't seen the sun in a week and a half. Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it.
Welcome to After Hours with the Whack Pack. I'm John Romano, filling in for Dave Palumbo, who is braving the heat with his children at Disney World in Orlando, Florida today. So let's all send him our condolences for dealing with that. In the meantime, I'm joined with the rest of us, or at least some of us. I got Mr. G, I got Larry, and of course, Gregg Valentino flipping everybody off. And here comes Armon.
What's going on, guys?
This is Jimmy the Bull I talked to yesterday on the phone, and he said he would try to be here. So I did it. Sid, did we send him a link by any chance? He's in the group text, right? So he got the link.
He got the link.
I'll send him.
Yeah,
I'll send it to him anyway.
So
Jimmy!
what's up? What's up, gentlemen?
What are you doing, John?
I am herding cats, as it were.
You're hurting pussy. So what's the
Okay, good. Jimmy's got the link.
what's going to be the clickbait thumbnail today?
We have a couple of things to talk about. One is the latest ruling on BPC 157 and several other pro-hormones, peptides. But first, I want to talk about the China Pro, because this is blowing up in everybody's face. I can't go online without seeing something about Tabani and Hollingsworth or Hollingshead or
Hollingshed.
Hollingshed. Yeah, that's a mouthful. And so I want to defer this to Larry, because Larry, you did a whole podcast on this. So why don't you frame the controversy and just tell us what's going on?
Yeah, I did a live stream on the whole thing. I actually stayed up the whole night on Friday night because it's in China. But going into the show, there was 19 competitors, and the only ones that I was familiar with were Baruz and James Hollingshed. Hollingshed took second the week before and looked really good. But Baruz was posting a lot of updates, but not showing his legs. But in his updates, he looked really good. So I think myself and a lot of other people had Baruz as winning. But when they actually came out on stage, Baruz was flat and his legs were like really downsized. And Hollingshed was his best ever. He was just full shredded, big legs, everything. And I think it was pretty clear to me and most other people watching it that Hollingshed should have been the winner, because he was just dominant over everybody else. And at the end, though, Baruz, they gave it to him. And I think they gave it to him because he had been trying to get into Olympia qualifier for several months, and he couldn't get a visa to any country to compete. And he finally got this visa to China literally the last minute, which probably is why his conditioning was off. He was on the stage sweating and shaking at prejudging and in the finals. And you'd see his tan running down from the sweating. But, he's had a rough time because he kept prepping for shows and then he just couldn't go. And then at the very last minute, he gets he first got denied for the visa to China, and then he gets approved. He flies there like the day before and has to jump right on stage. So he had no time to really prepare or anything. So I understand that, he went through a lot to get there, and a lot of people were rooting for him just because he was having such a hard time getting a visa just to compete, and people wanted to see him qualify. But when he actually got on stage, he wasn't at his best, and Hollingshead was at his best. And Milos actually tried to convince me otherwise, but I know what I saw.
Armon, you're a judge. What do you think?
I mean, we did a whole show on it too. I mean,
You and King?
Yeah, I mean, King and Chris Cook. Beirut was flat. He was flat and sweating, and all the sweating is. I have to believe it's Milos's protocols, how he does a lot of all the insulin and the carb loading. So, I mean, he just wasn't at his best. Hollingshead was better. My ideas is like, okay, Beirut can't make it to Tampa. He can't make it to Texas to compete. So they'll give him the Olympic qualification here. But can he even make it to the Olympia, right? So I think they wanted to see James in Tampa also and or Texas to compete. So, I mean, listen, you had a couple people that was subjective, like Milos. I think was the only one, I believe, that had him winning because obviously that's his client. And the judges had it winning. And so from a judging perspective, I had James winning. I mean, James doesn't have the best midsection, obviously. He doesn't have one of those midsections that's tight like Beirut's. Beirut's shape is better, but this is one of Beirut's worst look. He wasn't on point. He wasn't good, and James outmuscled him. James had the best physique that day, and James should have won. So it's not that complicated. Beirut was off, and James was on, and James brought it and should have won. The whole beard, I talked about it on my show too. The big bushy beard and being on stage. If people just things like that, it's distracting, like judging a show, because listen, you got a beard that's all the way out to here, it throws your symmetry off. People might think like, oh, that's silly, but I mean, it's taking away from your physique when you have this big bushy beard. So James needs to trim that beard up. It's not presentable. It's not presentable on stage. It looks like someone I'd give a couple bucks to on the corner of the street, just looking at his face. But his body looked insane. He looked absolutely incredible. His presentation has to get better, though. His posing has to get better. He's not bringing his lat, like especially in the rear poses, like his rear lat spread. He's not bringing out enough. But he took it gracefully and congratulated Beirut and all that. But I had him as a clear winner.
All right, so let's get another professional's opinion. We've gotten Larry, we got Armon. Sid, do you have Lee Priest's video you can play?
Oh, I read Lee's thing.
Lee said he came out. He's commented he looks like a used condom. I don't know how Beirut looks like a used condom. I guess he's saying it's
the Chinese kid. If he had a bigger upper body, was in better shape than Beirut. So I don't get it. Who was the head judge? Let me guess. Emmanuel. Well, say no more. Yes, we went from videos and photos online, but so did the majority of other people. And now the results have come out. I've gone and looked at all of them just so I don't think I'm the only fuckwit here. I'd say 99% of James winning. Explain that, Tyler, in your next breakdown. Probably be as good as how Derek won the double bicep in the Olympia. Once you said that, you lost all fucking credibility. But other people might not say that because they want to be pros. I'm not a pro anymore. I don't care. And remember, people, you pros out there, you just watch James get fucked. Next it would be you. But until you all unite and stand together, it won't change. The IFBB needs you. You don't fucking need them. There's plenty of organisations you can go to. I'm sure there's businessmen out there in Kuwait that would just, you don't even need an organisation. Get some people with money and sponsors you can put on shows. Why do you need IFBB, PCA? You don't need any.
Well, I like Lee, but I mean, listen, if Vince McMahon can't put on a league and get it going, you just can't go to another league. What is he going to go to? A natural league? There's not really leagues out there that you can just go to and make money. The IFBB is the NFL. I love Lee, but that statement it's not true. James really can't go anywhere else, and he's not a Middle Eastern guy that can just compete in the Middle East like a lot of these Iranian guys do that can make a lot of money on the whatever their local level, and instead of coming over here, which they do, they make a ton of money. Their government will pay them and all that. But no, there's not another place for James. There's not all these leagues he can just go to and make money
That's
at
true.
all.
Now, Larry, the big question here is why? What's the ask here? What are we doing? Why does the IFBB take an absolutely transparently obvious fucking and stand behind it? Why is this happening? What's the purpose here? What's the end game?
Well, again, Baruz has been trying to qualify to get to be able to, in order to qualify, had to compete in a pro show and win. And he's been denied his visa for like everywhere. And China was his only shot at going. And there's only a few qualifiers left. There's Texas, there's Tampa, Atlanta. He's not going to get to any of those. There's one in Austria. I think that's the last one. And but
Right.
he really didn't have another place to qualify. So it was like this is his only shot. And James still could go to these other shows and possibly qualify. Although now, James has going to Tampa. He's got to compete against Nick Walker, Joe Palacios, all these guys. Colossus Ken. So that's a tough road for James to have to go through to get the qualification. But also Milos is his coach. And let's just face it, there's politics in this. There always is in bodybuilding. And I think people felt sorry for Baruz. And going into the show, everybody was talking about Baruz is getting screwed over because of this war. He can't travel and he can't get a visa, this, that, and the other. And I understand that. I understand he had a hard time, going and all of this. But at the end of the day, the better man on stage should win. It shouldn't matter, I had to go through whatever to get there.
So basically,
different things.
So basically, you're saying that the decision was that if it happened came out the other way, if he had won, if Hollingshed had won, it would have been a devastating blow to Bonnie. So you're saying
he wouldn't be able to compete.
He wouldn't be able to qualify for the Olympia because there's no other show he could do. Whereas Hollingshed could do. There's 5 shows he could do.
Correct.
So that's a decision that was made. The thing with that is, Greg, you can speak to this. The thing with that is,
I was asleep. I'm sorry.
I know because we're talking about bodybuilding, so you got to wake up now.
No,
so
I like bodybuilding.
The thing of that is it does cast that evil shadow on everything, and it's how are we supposed to, even if it was done in the best of intentions, because we all know this guy can't qualify anywhere else. We all want to see him in the Olympia. Let's give him this show. You can't do that. As much as you might want to, as much as it sounds like a Cinderella story, as much as it sounds cool, you can't do that, right?
No, because it's that's where politics comes in, and that's where it's the judging is corrupt.
What country is he from?
That's the unfortunate thing is that generally the judging is not. But when it is, and it looks like this, it's like it throws everything else into question.
Yeah, I mean, when the head judge and when Tyler and all that, or whoever was, I don't even know who the head judge was, Mannion, Tyler or Steve Weinberger. When they make decisions like this, I don't think they really think through. You've got a ton of influencers out here now that make videos, make stories, and all that, and they get tore up, and it just makes them look. It makes them look bad. It makes the league look bad too. When everybody, it's one thing if the fans say it, but if people actually know bodybuilding and follow it and love it and they're experienced in it, know what they're talking about, are all saying one thing, and then like Beirut won the show, it just makes them look bad. And you got to judge what's on stage that day. Leading in Beirut's pictures were awesome. And that's the problem when Milos's philosophy is like insulin, insulin, insulin with every single client. That's how it is, and that's not. I'm not a huge fan of insulin when prepping clients, and maybe in the off season for a little bit, but um, there comes a lot of risks where especially when you're prepping with a lot of insulin, you get ready for a show, you spill over, then you try to pull back with the diuretics, and then I think that's the outcome of Beirut's look. He was very flat. All his pictures leading up, he looked amazing. He was big, full, freaky, hard because he was full blown with insulin and carbs. When you have to pull that water, that's the outcome. What he looked like on stage, and then this is his even though he didn't step on stage, this is, I believe, his third time or fourth, I believe third time, or 2 or 3 times before actually stepping on stage. So getting down and taking the diuretics, something's really loud in the background, some like weed eater or something.
George,
it's really loud.
mute your mic.
No, I don't have anything.
I got a weed eater outside my door. Just all of a sudden showed up.
Yeah,
Just
and
mute your mic until he's gone.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. It's it sucks, and James took it well, and he's going to go on to Tampa, and it's going to be a little more interesting too because the Tampa show, it's just like Nick and Big Joe. That's who everybody's talking about now. It gives them something to talk about. James is coming in, and if you look at bodybuilding, like the points and all that, and what's happened in the past, James has beat these guys before. Has beat a Big Joe before, and all these guys, and so
Did he beat
or
Nick?
has done well. No,
Has
he
he
hasn't
beaten-
beaten Nick, but no, he hasn't beaten Nick. But I believe
Okay.
the points deflected shows that because everybody's counted James out, like he's like a second tier bodybuilder, and that Beirut should be a top 5 bodybuilder. Well, James just beat Beirut. I mean, James should have beat Beirut on stage. So looking at that, now that puts James in the mix for being a second tier bodybuilder his whole career so far. Now, being an option to go into Tampa Pro and do some damage. And I'm excited. I'm excited for James and happy for James because he's never nailed it on stage. I think this is the first time he's really nailed it on stage, and he looks great. But the judging, it's gonna, they make it. It's whatever the Manions say or whatever Weinberger says. It goes, and if you don't like it, you just have to deal with it. What other options are there? I mean, people complain. They see the videos, they see people's content, and they don't care. If they did, they would take that into account and actually think, what is going to be the backlash from this? Everybody's having, even people at the show. George asked where Beirut is from. He's from Iran. That's well known because he can't get over here. And I don't even know if he's going to be able to. It's likely that he's going to be able to get over here for the Olympia. So, I mean, getting that qualification, I don't even know if that counts because I'm not sure if he's going to even be able to get over here. So, is
that another element you think in that decision? Is that even if he did win and qualify, which he has, are they still wondering whether he's going to actually be able to get a visa to compete in the Olympia at all?
Yeah, of course. Or, like I said earlier, him not being able to do the other shows. He's not like a James that can go do these other few shows before the Olympia. But if James doesn't win in these shows and qualify for the Olympia, then it sucks. Then he's not in the Olympia when he should have, beat Beirut here. So,
So now, what do you say to the people who say, "Well, you weren't there. You're only going by videos and pictures and all of that shit"?
I talked to people that were there, and they said they had James winning too because videos and pictures are different. That if you've been to shows and watched on live stream, a lot of these live streams suck really bad. So but in the live stream, you could see Beirut sweating on stage, him flat, him not in the best condition, and you could see that difference. And then everybody that took videos with their phone, it's a little more clear than live stream. You can tell on that too. But people at the show too, they had James winning too. I don't know anybody except Beirut's coach that had him winning. So,
what's Milos's argument?
He said he won all the poses. He said he won every single pose. He said the side poses James blew him away in the side poses. He's so much thicker, and that's where the flatness comes in when you go to the side. That 3D look is gone in Beirut. When he had it leading up to the show, James kills him on those. So he said he won all the front poses, like front double bicep, front lat spread, because James' midsection is not that great, which it's not. his midsection is his weak point, but the level of muscularity he has, and just the lower half of his body is significantly bigger than Beirut's. I mean, Beirut's always has troubles with his legs, anyways, but especially since it's flat. I mean, his legs were even more down. So
yeah, you can see it. So, what do you think is going to happen? Is this going to blow over? No one gives a shit, or is this going to cast a shadow?
No, it's turned into a big controversy, and every single bodybuilding channel is talking about it, and pretty much every single bodybuilding channel agrees that James got screwed over. And the problem is, sure, James can try to compete in these other shows, but he's not going to win Tampa. He's not going to beat Nick Walker. So that's not going to happen. And these other shows, you got harder bodybuilders to go against, like Joe Palacios, Colossus Ken. And he technically, should have won this one. And he just didn't. And there's another thing that I was considering too. A couple things. I don't know if this really has anything to do with it, but the show was in China, and we're in a war, and China is aligned with Iran in this conflict. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm not sure how many judges, but there was something weird on the scoring too. So if you go pose by pose, and people have argued, well, based on structure, maybe Baruz should have won, the front double bicep and so forth. But even then, you'd think it would be close. It would be like a close decision, but it wasn't. When the scoring came out, that it was unanimous. All the judges unanimously had Baruz winning at prejudging and the night show, which anybody who watched it could see that there's no way. And it was unanimous across the board that James was second, and not by 1 point, by a lot of points.
I mean, going into these shows too, Larry, I mean, Beirut was hyped up so much, and we all expected a much better look. And, the judges, even from the state level, especially the state level, I don't judge any longer in Texas, but the judging, a lot of the judges, they don't know what they're looking at. Even the Chinese guy that got third with this huge, crazy leg, if that guy was competing 15 years ago, he would get placed last for all the filler or whatever he has in his outer quad sweep. It looks ridiculous. There's no striations in it at all. It's this big ballooned out quad. He's a short guy too. He's only I think 5'3" or 5'4", something like that. He's a very short guy. But the judges can't differentiate anymore what's real or not with all these funky looking body parts. And used to, if you had something like that, like when Nasser came out in whatever year that was with his rear delts out to here, he placed really bad. They don't do that anymore. So many guys have all these weird funky body parts that are shot up. But going back to the judging, they're thinking, probably Beirut is coming in. He's supposed to win the show. Let's give it to him. They're not judging. They didn't judge what was on stage that day at all whatsoever. So,
Gregg, you awake?
Yeah, man. This is. I thought Babe Ruth was a great Yankee.
Babe Ruth?
Aren't they talking about Babe Ruth?
No, Beirut.
Oh, I thought they were talking about Babe. He said he was great.
From Iran. From Iran. But
this is exciting stuff.
But now, Gregg, you have been privy to several controversies and scandals in judging over the years. You've seen it? You've seen it a lot. So how do you think this fits in?
Well, if it's controversial, I'm just gonna say this. I don't even know that they had a show in China, but anyway, I gotta tell you, the judging when it comes to this shit, this is how you know it's because Armon said that it was all like the one guy, Babe Ruth or whoever the other guy was, got all first place votes. And if it was really controversial and close, that means somebody told them, "Hey, I think that Joe Matarazzo over there looks the best, don't you?" Oh, Joe Matarazzo first. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens with us judging. I don't know. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm not too up on the competition part of bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding, but the competition shit is just it's still watered down. Get your pro card here. Get your pro card. You want a pro card? You got a pro card. We all got a pro card. Anyway, so I just think that if it's a little sketchy, if one guy and everybody else thinks the other guy should have won, and one guy who did win got all first place votes, and nobody, that means I feel like somebody was told to vote that way. You don't think so? I mean, doesn't that sound? I mean,
Let's be real. Beirut is a more popular bodybuilder too. I mean, he's a lot more popular bodybuilder than James, even though he's in Ron. Beirut has a huge fan base. People love him here too. He's not like a hottie.
Who's got their noise maker on?
It's Larry. It's not like James. Like I said, James is always looked at as a second tier bodybuilder, and they weren't expecting James to come in and look like this. They were kind of already, I think, everybody was saying this is Beirut's show easily all day. No one, and I
you don't think it's sketchy that the guy that you guys like everybody thinks one guy should have won, and that guy, the other guy got all first place, and not one judge thought the way everybody else thought.
He's got 1.1 million followers on Instagram. Looked at
he's a lot more popular bodybuilder than James.
As Greg says, Babe Ruth. Yeah, Babe Ruth.
And Georgie, what do you think this does? What do you think this does to young people looking at bodybuilding to take up as a sport? Do you think this is one of those things that they just say, you got to deal with it, or does it disillusion them? What if you ran the circus? What would you do?
Well, because judging is going to be different in other countries. I mean, it's obvious. I don't know if all the judges were from China. That I'm going to assume that they had judges from China and stuff. And social media has changed everything too, right? People become popular through social media, and the companies, any organization considers, hey, these guys are good for the sport, right? So
well, young people are going to look at it, George. They're going to say, if the Trent twins weren't in it, I'm not watching it. So I don't think I think it's like the hardcore bodybuilding, like I want to compete and be a Mr. Olympia and all that. Maybe those guys kind of watch it, but I don't think the Trent twins could throw a fart in a jar and put it up on Instagram, and they'll get 100,000 more hits than fucking
Well, it's a subjective sport. If they competed, it's subjective.
It's not. You don't win by merit. You win by
unless
opinion.
They put the judges' scores like they do in boxing and MMA. They tell you the score, and they show you the judge who scored them. So if they do that,
by merit.
It's just not exciting. It's just I get Greg's whole thing with bodybuilding. It's not what it used to be. It isn't like this rivalry that's exciting. I mean, listen, these guys are all friends. I mean, listen, when they're about to announce the winner, James and Beirut were holding hands. Why? I would never hold the hand of the person I'm going against when they're announcing the winners.
Right.
That was weird. No. They're holding hands.
Dudes holding hands is weird.
Why? I never hold hands anybody except my son. That's weird.
Only to shake hands.
No, they're holding each other hands next to each other when they're about to. Not like this, like down, like holding hands, like you would your girlfriend. Before
I don't
believe
Babe Ruth was holding anybody's hands. But it's not won by merit. It's like, well, who's better, Picasso or Michelangelo? It's an opinion. Pablo Picasso's art to me looked like something a high school kid did. You know what I mean? Where Michelangelo.
Yeah, but Greg, what they're saying here is that if it was a Pablo Picasso against the Da Vinci or Michelangelo, and Picasso's, his colors were off, something was dripping in the corner, he's got a hole in the canvas, it doesn't matter that it's him. It matters what he produced. And what he produced was not as good as the other guy.
But isn't it? But you're saying it out loud though. If it's not as good as the other guy, and you feel that way, and everybody else and all these other bodybuilding shows are talking about this, but yet every fucking judge, all the judges had it that way. You don't think that's a little?
Well, one thing you got to understand: Tyler Mannion was the head judge, and I don't care what anybody tells you. This is bullshit. The head judge decides. The head judge tells everybody else how to vote. I've seen it at many shows. Whatever the head judge says, everybody else falls in line.
They can override it. They could override it. So, I've judged maybe 3 of the hundreds of shows I judged. The head judge was like, "This is chairman's choice or whatever," and we're going with this winner. And so they overrided all our scores and picked the winner. A lot of times it was because They were sleeping with a certain girl. It's usually in the bikini in the girls division. So
I've seen that.
they can totally override. And people have seen Steve do questionable things like a phone call or bring old people's paper up or stuff like that, and other shows too. But yeah, the head judge can override everybody and pick whoever they want to. And a lot of the times, the head judge will tell the other people, yeah, like mark this person, mark this person. So it really does come down to the head judge. They have the most power, So it is what it is. So
the problem is, like, going into the show, I picked Baruz as the winner. I thought he was going to dominate this show, and no one, including James, was going to give him a run for his money. So I had no horse in this race. I wasn't biased towards one or the other. I fully expected Baruz to just blow everybody out of the water, and it'd be a fight for second place between. Well, I didn't know anybody else except for James. But when they actually got on stage next to each other, it was a totally different story. It was completely obvious. You had 110% James versus 80% Baruz that had a bunch of issues going on. And another thing that stood out, if you watch almost every single other competitor, pretty much, for the most part, was Asian in this show. There was a few Middle Easterns, but mostly Asian. And all of these Asian guys got big legs. It's weird. They got big legs and small arms.
Yeah.
and then you got everybody with big legs, including James Hollingston's got huge legs. And then you got Baruz with no legs or small legs compared to his upper body and small legs compared to everybody else. So they talk about, symmetry. Well, if you look at symmetry, James' lower body and upper body match pretty well. He's equally developed in all spaces. Baruz has got a great upper body and then no legs. So right there, Derek Lunsford got third in the Olympia because he came in with his leg downsized that one year. So how do you go past that?
Yeah. I think it was a bad call across. Everybody saw that. I'm even a Beirut fan, and even the Beirut fans had him not winning. So when you have the fans even saying, yeah, James probably should have won. It is what it is. People made all this fuss about it, but it'll blow over in a week. Something we'll be talking about something else. Nobody will remember it, and things will go on like they always do.
Yeah, that's the thing
about that. We've been talking about the 1980 Olympia since 1980.
And the 91 Miss Olympia.
This was the Olympia, though.
That was Arnold. That's why.
Yeah,
that was
this is a China Pro. It's not even like a huge show.
Okay, so moving forward, what does this mean? Anything? Nothing? Something?
Well, it means James Hollingston probably won't get a qualification for the Olympia, which sucks because he came in his all-time best, and he deserved a qualification, and he probably won't get it. Or it's a long shot that he gets it at this point because there's not too many shows you can compete and win.
Tampa's going to be hard because of Nick.
Winning show, huh? Yeah. Not the top three.
Yeah, Tampa's going to be hard because of Nick. Texas, I'm not sure the lineup in Texas yet, but yeah, his legs are huge. And
you're right about that. You're right about that beard. It makes it look like he's got two heads.
Yeah, it throws the symmetry off, especially from the front. It's like you can't see. Like it's weird. It throws clavicles. It does hide the clavicles. It sounds silly, but when you've judged for years and you kind of know what to look at on stage, it's distracting. You don't want to be distracted by anything, whether it's a bunch of tattoos or a big bushy beard.
I agree.
No one used to ever have a beard on stage. You always shaved. My facial hair grows super thick, but I would always shave before the stage just to look more presentable. This is just not presentable coming in with this big. It's not even tamed at all. It's like this big bushy homeless guy beard, and it's not attractive.
It's like a mountain man beard.
It's covering his straps. Actually, you can't really see.
It's
covering his upper pecs. Upper pecs.
Yeah.
Straightness of the shoulder. But
maybe that threw the judges off.
All right, so we're just going to have to chalk this up to another unfortunate situation.
It happens in every sport.
That's plagued us from day one since 1980. So let's move on to something else. I want to talk about this only because I've been reading a lot of comments online about this that are just wrong. And they're wrong to the degree they can get you in trouble. Okay. So recently the FDA ruled on BPC 157, TB 500, and a couple more peptides. They ruled on them to agree that research can continue and that doctors and compounding pharmacies can be allowed to prescribe and prepare it under the pharmacy compounding rules. But it does not mean that it's legal. It doesn't mean that it's approved. It doesn't mean that it works. It doesn't mean any of that shit. It just means that the FDA is going to go along with it for a little while. Now, here's the thing. Here's the way I'm looking at it. They wouldn't be doing this if it didn't work. They can say that we don't know if it works, if it shows promise, or it's in certain studies where the results suggested, blah blah, all that ambiguous language that the lawyers make you use. But here's the thing. It wouldn't be in there. It would not be under consideration if it didn't work. Too many people are using it, and with empirical results are saying that it works. So I think this is good news. What do you guys think?
I think it's
I've
great.
got meetings this week with two different people that have contacted me to do medical medical peptides out of my gym. One has one guy, I have a treatment on Friday at Newport Beach where they're going to clean my blood. It's sort of like a dialysis thing, but the guy has a vending machine that has legally prescribed BPC and all the different peptides that are on the approved list. And people can go to the vending machine, plug in their information, and then get an instant prescription through the machine and buy their stuff right out of the vending machine.
That's a little
Horn and Harden.
and the other one is they set them up with a doctor online, and the doctor, they fill in an intake stuff, and then the doctor writes a prescription, and the compounding lab fills the prescription and it mails them their peptides. Now, one thing I can say about this, the cost of these medically approved peptides are 10 times what the peptide sites that are gray market are selling.
Of course.
Because it's legal. And in order for it to be legal, they have to go through, a doctor approval and this and that and the other.
There's a lot more cost than compliance.
right.
Right.
I've been with the
Yeah, but
same
you got-
clinic for about 5 years. They kind of sponsor me and they send me all my scripts for free, and I promote or send my clients to them. They're great, the company. If anybody needs that information, they could just DM me. I send everybody the information. They're a really awesome clinic. But yeah, the peptides are more expensive. Rick Collins just came out and recently said that most of his cases now aren't even steroid cases. 80%, I think he said 80% are peptide cases. So
Jeez.
doctors, clinics dealing with because a lot of these clinics get in trouble for prescribing certain peptides. Even the clinic I'm with, they don't want to run, ads places online a lot of times because it's still kind of in. And even one of my friends that just started another company, he just got with Rick Collins too, just kind of how to navigate to do it the semi-right way. Because like Rick was saying, we had him on our show last month or the month before. He's just people are still not aware. The majority of people getting in trouble that are doing it for research and or wellness clinics that are prescribing it too, and that's the majority of his cases now. It's not gear anymore. Someone that got caught for selling hundreds of bottles of testosterone or whatever. It's these clinics that are prescribing peptides or people that have these research peptide sites that are getting in trouble. And that's the 80% of people he's representing now.
Yeah, but you got Robert Kennedy right now is really big. He himself is using that stuff. He
Really?
talks
Yeah.
about stuff. Yeah, man.
What's the difference?
So
between
now,
that and test?
why
I
do-
don't understand.
Well, I was just going to ask that, Georgie. That's exactly my question. What is it about peptides that are more attractive than just the regular juice that we've been using for 50 years that we know works.
Well, they're completely different. Like
they're amino
steroids
acids.
build muscle. The peptides don't build muscle. They're for totally different purposes. Like well, first of all, you got the GLPs like Ozempic,
right,
trizepatide, and retatrutide.
weight loss.
Those are all weight loss drugs, and they're proven. They're proven through clinical trials that they work. And obese people are able to lose tremendous amount of weight. It also increases insulin sensitivity. It cleans up fatty liver and all kinds of stuff. So retatrutide is like the next one to get approved by I think is it Lilly that's doing that? One of them is putting out the retatrutide. They have the patent on it, and that's gone through clinical trials. It'll get approved later this year. But that stuff, people are losing a lot of weight on it.
They are. Well, that lends credence to perhaps the efficacy of peptides in general, that people are saying, well, if it works for weight loss, if peptides are working for weight loss and the FDA agrees that they're working for weight loss and it's approved, then obviously peptides in general show promise, and the various varieties of them can be very useful. But there's not going to be a clinical trial on BPC 157 for long-term efficacy, because the study itself is not ethical. You can't just take somebody and start loading them up with a questionable compound and see what happens. That's why we don't have long-term steroid studies. That's why we don't have long-term, numerous hormones, growth hormone. We don't even have growth hormone studies that we can count on.
Yeah, but
there
the
are
GLP's opening the door for
sure.
that. And I'm telling you, Kennedy himself has talked about this stuff, and he's the guy right now pushing a lot of this stuff. And GLP has opened the door for even just to get peptides noticed like that. And everybody
saying it indicates that they work. Otherwise, they wouldn't be approving them. And the other ones on the list now with potential approvability obviously do something, or they wouldn't be on the list.
Well, think about it. But you got peptide has now made it so people don't even have to fucking do the lap band surgery anymore, the bypass surgery. A lot of people, I know, I have a friend who's a fat bastard and lost over 200 pounds with that stuff. Oprah Winfrey right now is almost close to a bikini body. If you see her, she's in the gym working out and everything, and she's thin compared
what happened
to
her skin? What does her skin look like, though?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably
She's got enough money to have that shit.
Got more chins than a Chinese phone book.
Yeah, you get all that. I've had clients that lost tons of weight. They go get that skin cut out. It looks great if you have the money.
Yeah,
if you do
get all the skin cut out. It's
but
all
when
like
you go off it, though, they get fat again.
Because you have to go on the diet, John. It's a lifestyle change. You got to change your lifestyle.
Well,
so you need to.
We know that, Georgie. They don't know that. They think it's just take a drug.
GLP and then get George. If you get George follows up with the GLP, that's what you need. George,
you need a coach. You need a Mickey. You need a Mickey like in movie Rocky.
People are very confused about GLP-1s. I have clients all the time. They're like, shouldn't I be on like this GLP-1 for burning fat? I'm like, it's not a fat burner. It's a weight loss. It literally slows your gastric emptying. It slows it down so you just don't take a shit. It takes you longer to take a shit. So a lot of people are they're getting constipated, or sometimes you get diarrhea, nausea. Like I've had numerous clients that were on it. I'm like, why are you taking it? They're like, oh, for the fat loss properties. I'm like, it's not a fat burner, like clenbuterol or T3 or something like that. It's a weight loss thing. I take them off of it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get fat, or I'm going to, gain. I'm like, you're going to gain fat. You're going to look better. And I've taken, just in the past month, I've taken like 5 or 6 of my clients that were on it already. When they came to me, I took them off of it. I put them on more food, and they were scared at first. I'm like, just trust the process. If you don't like it, you can go back on your GLP-1. And they gained significant amount of muscle because the GLP-1s were preventing them from eating enough protein to gain muscle. So for bodybuilders, if you just can't control your eating whatsoever, like I'm not a huge fan of them for bodybuilding, especially if you're a competitor and you're taking it on a prep not to eat a lot, especially when it goes into the carving up phase and all that. It's not going to work the same in your body if you're taking a GLP-1, because things process through your body and stomach differently. So a few clients, I'm like, why? Or some said, oh, I want to take one. I'm like, why do you want to take one? They're like, well, for the fat burning loss. I'm like, why do you think it burns fat? They're like, well, I saw it on TikTok. I'm like, it's just so you saw something on TikTok, you don't know what it really does. You just want to take it. And they're like, yeah, I probably should stay off TikTok. They're like, yeah, you probably should, because a lot of people are promoting them too because they're getting money. They're getting a kickback or a coupon code, and I have a peptide company literally almost every single day send me like a sponsorship deal or want to get sponsored to promote them, and I'm like, no, like if it's not. First of all, it's still gray area. I mean, even Rick Collins told me, no, you can't. It's still not legal to give out coupon codes for these companies. You still technically can get in trouble. So I always decline it. But I work with that clinic anyways. That it's all legal. But too many people are confused on what peptides do. They kind of like, listen, there's so many different peptides that all do different things. Some make you tan, some make you hungry, some make you, all different things. All the GH releasing peptides. There's so many peptides out there. People kind of group them all together. They don't know what they do. So, and it's not steroids. So they're not afraid of like, oh, this is not steroids. I'm not going to, the bad stigma behind steroids, but they don't make you gain muscle. Like Larry said, they're not, for other things like healing. The healing ones I love, like the TB and BPC, those are awesome peptides. Those do work. They're not miracle drugs where they're going to like, heal spinal injuries. But if you got like a, tendonitis in your shoulder or some torn stuff in your knee, yeah, they can help. They can help significantly, and they're great. But, you're looking at a clinic paying $300 at a clinic versus the black market where you're paying, for a decent black market, maybe like $50 to $100 a bottle.
Do you have to shoot that in it? Like, let's say I don't have a bad shoulder, but let's say somebody had a bad shoulder. Do you have to shoot that in the shoulder itself, or
but with an insulin needle, it's like nothing.
Yeah. So you don't. So you don't have to,
the BPC.
Okay.
Yeah, the BPC you need to, but the TB you don't have to. You could, that's systematically. So the BPC you can, like, if your shoulder hurts, shoot it there. If your hand hurts, like my wife, she had a lot of hand pain when she was working full time at the hospital. She don't work full time. She works like 1 day a week now, but she does all my stuff for me, like my booking and all stuff. But her hand was hurting a lot because she does a lot of PT work with all the fat patients, picking their fat asses up and helping them rehab from heart surgery. Usually pretty obese, and she was having a lot of pain in her hand right there for months. We did BPC in there for like, I think it was 3 weeks, and her hand pain was completely gone.
You shot it into her hand, though?
Like right in her hand right there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've gotten surgeries.
But I tell everybody, like, if you BPC, I take that BPC and TB year round. I mean, I put it whatever. Something's always hurting.
I seen oral BPC and oral the TB.
The oral TB and BPC is good for your gut health, but it's not good for certain like injuries. It's like good more systematically. But if you're trying to like help an injury out, you want to do the injectable. So
I've been using them I tore my calves on a leg press in like 2014, I think it was. And Chris Duffin put me on the BPC and TB 500 along with IGF LR3, and that thing healed my calves, and they were bad. Yeah. I was hospitalized for that, and it worked. And I hurt my shoulder last year, and I put that stuff in my shoulder, and it healed it up.
Yeah,
and it does work. 100%.
I mean, Larry, I take a lot of breaks from the gym. I was out of the gym for like 2 years, like several years ago, just because didn't want to go to the gym for a while. And when I started back slowly, my right shoulder, I couldn't press. It hurt so bad. And I was like, this is not getting better. So I got some BPC. I was shooting there for like maybe a month, and then I could press again without any problems. And the stuff works. It works really well. And then that's the thing with people trying to get better now. Like, you don't go to doctors anymore. You go to like coaches, fitness people that they know what works. You go to these doctors and they're going to tell you, they can't really tell you to do certain things. They can get their medical license taken away for promoting or telling you to take certain things. They
well, really actually, that's not totally true. My gastroenterologist told me to get on retatrutide for my Crohn's.
What's
retatrutide? Said it will help. I'm not doing it for weight loss, just to increase insulin sensitivity, and it slows down gut motility. And for Crohn's, it's been proven to like help you heal from that. So
That's a rare one.
Just
before we get too far down the road on this, I want to go back to something that Armon said about losing weight. It doesn't burn fat. It makes you lose weight. So you got to define
well, that's
what
not
weight
completely
is.
true.
Well, what's weight? Weight is fat, water, and muscle. The rest is bones and organs. All right. So what are you going to lose? What's weight? It's either fat or muscle and some water. So what are you losing on Ozempic? You're losing mostly muscle. So
Yes.
Well, hold on a second. That there's Ozempic was the first GLP-1, and then you had tirzepatide that had 2 mechanisms of action, and then retatrutide has 3 mechanisms of action. And I had a competitor in 2025. He dieted for like 20 weeks, or supposedly be dieting for 20 weeks, and did cardio, was training hard. This guy is he's like 5'5", and he had 22-inch arms, and he's just monster little guy, right? But he just could not get in shape, and I couldn't understand it. It's like this guy just was not losing weight. I mean, not really. And we get to the show, and I asked him, I'm like, how many times did you actually cheat on your diet? And he said every single day.
I tell you,
Every day he cheated on his diet.
Of course he did.
He just couldn't stay on a diet.
he cheated
This
every
year,
day.
he used the retatrutide. We did a 20-week prep, and he won the Cal.
Holy shit.
So, I mean, this is a guy that just could not cheat on his diet.
So he's eating less food, but it's not like clenbuterol when it strictly just burns fat.
Wait a minute. Did he get ripped because he was able to not cheat every day, or was it the cause of the drug, the peptide?
Well, he got ripped because he was training, doing cardio, eating the right diet.
So he wasn't cheating
not cheating on his diet.
So the retatrutide made him not cheat.
It made him not cheat, but also it increases insulin sensitivity, which means you're going to, use more fat for fuel, and you're not going to become insulin insensitive, which means you're going to store glycogen better and a lot of things. So It actually does help you lose. You will, if you don't eat enough protein on it, you'll lose muscle. As long as you eat enough protein and you're actually working out, you won't lose muscle.
Well, I just recently called the company to go on test, and they told me no, test peptides. I go, no, I don't want peptides. I want tests. No, peptide. I go, I want tests. And the third time they said it, I go, you know what? This is not for me. Thank you. Click.
George, I'll send you the clinic that I work. They'll give you tests right away and not even have you do jump through holes.
It was. I'm not gonna say who.
Yeah, the clinic. They push the peptide because they make a lot more money on the.
I know. After I hung up, I saw that. Oh, it's 4 times the amount. Oh.
Yeah, that's where they make all their money on. Especially the GLP-1s, the clinics. Like I'm friends with the owner, obviously. So, tests they don't make much money. They don't make much money at all. But
yeah, I want to recuperate.
Like my client calls there, and I could just tell them you're not interested in peptides. You just want your testosterone replacement. They're not going to tell you like, oh, you need these peptides too. So I'll send you the link and just deal with them. It's like a 2-minute form, and they'll get you on right away.
And this is someone who's talking to me, a female who doesn't even train, is speaking to me like I'm some senior citizen. I'm telling them, I MMA, I do all this stuff. I do extreme stuff. So
yes, but you are a senior citizen.
Yeah. Hey, look,
so
look, John.
So am I. So is Greg.
Yes.
1 month. Look, 1 month. I'm growing all my hair. I'm going to grow it out for 2 years.
Are you going to be a surfer now?
I got to grow it out. Yeah. See.
Right. Except you look like you had a toilet seat on your head.
What do you mean?
It's this part's bald.
What are you talking about?
He's got to go to Turkey. Turkey to get the transplant.
Don't they have a peptide for that? George, the glare is killing me. Get out of the light.
Look, that's hair. Look at that.
Yeah, that's hair, and there's a lot of skin there too.
Yeah, but there's
it's growing. It's growing. Look.
Yeah, but George, I could grow the same shit. There's nothing worse than a fucking guy that
Oh,
George, you don't want to walk around looking. You don't want to walk around looking like you're on chemo.
No,
You just gotta let it go. Let it go at that point. Like
just let go.
Yeah, bro.
Let it go.
No, if it keeps going, this is 1 month. If I let it 2 years, it'll be like down to here, right? Look at the
No,
back.
it'll look terrible. It'll look like
No,
It'll
but
look
yeah,
like
it'll be back.
insane.
Go to Turkey. You could probably get the 3 grand.
I'm not going to no. I'm going. The only country I'm going to is America.
But George, you have good surfing in Turkey.
No, I don't.
They got good turkey in Turkey.
The best surfing is in Hawaii. That's where I've been. That's where if I'm going to travel.
I think the best surfing is in Portugal.
I love Turkey.
No.
Man. I loved it there. The
Nazareth.
food, it was pretty. The food.
Well, that's big wave surfing. I got to,
So wait, did Armon? You got the hair thing in Turkey, didn't you?
Yeah. I did the front, and then I'm going back. I was supposed to go back like the next year, but I got real sick back in October with that blood infection.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going back in like probably January to do more like in the back. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool. I love Turkey. That was my first time to Turkey. The food is absolutely amazing. You know, any foods you can eat here, like whatever that messes up my stomach, I can go and eat there, and
it doesn't bother you.
No, my stomach's perfect because they don't use all the hormones and probiotics,
probably
antibiotics,
real
and all
organic
the shit we
food.
use. And it was nice. It's really pretty there. Everybody was nice. If you're single, there's a lot of beautiful women there because you've got a lot of girls from other countries like Russia, Poland, living there too. So
now, didn't somebody recently die from getting a hair transplant over there?
Yeah, they use too much like when they numb the scalp, they shoot you up with a bunch of lidocaine and stuff. Like and the guy, you could die from lidocaine poisoning, so they gave him too much, and he had I think a cardiac arrest and died. But that's very rare because that's typical hair transplant. So they do medical screening beforehand. They do blood work, EKG. So the guy had to have some underlying issue or something. I don't know, but I know the clinic that he went to, and I know people there that I talked to about it. They're like, yeah, after they shot him up, he went into cardiac arrest. They couldn't resuscitate him. So.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, but that's very rare. I mean, that's like one of the first instances I heard of. But you got to go to a reputable place. Of course, there's sketchy places everywhere. So if you're a good place, you're looking to pay in the $3,000 to $5,000 range, and if you got that here for the same amount of grafts, it'd be around $30,000. And they do a much better job. I've had so many friends that had hair transplants here for like 30, 40 grand, and it doesn't even stick. In Turkey, they do a great job. That's all they do at these clinics every single day, all day.
Yeah, Joe Pietaro went there. He's got a full head of hair and stuff. Yeah. They did a great job on him.
Maybe I should go to Murray's wigs on
Murray's wigs.
Maury, not Murray.
Maury. Man, they got those toupees now that are perfect. They glue them on.
Yeah, they glue them on. Right, they do. What happens to your skin when you got that glued on your head? Doesn't your skin get like rot underneath there?
I had a friend that had one, and I haven't seen him in a while, and I was like, dude, what's up with your hair? He's like, and he was trying to convince me it was real. I was like, dude, you've been bald for like 10 years. That's not real hair. And so it's expensive though. It's not cheap. I believe he was, because you have to go every 2 weeks to a place. They take that glue off. They cut your hair, shave it down more. They put the heat, but the glue they use is it's supposed to be completely safe for your scalp. Whether it is or not, I'm not sure. I mean, I think some people get rashes, but I've seen one bodybuilder guy did it that I used to compete with that was well known.
Gary Stridham.
It looked ridiculous. No, Brad Rowe. I think it's Brad Rowe. Someone did it. It looked completely ridiculous because they've been bald their whole life, and then they had this like full head of nice wavy hair, and I'm like, okay, yeah. But I mean, shit, dude. Girls wear wigs, so what's wrong if a guy, if a guy wants to do that? Like, yeah.
Wouldn't that fucking glue like clog the pores up there?
Think.
Kill the fucking
It
hair?
says it doesn't. They say it doesn't. I wouldn't do it myself because that's just kind of. That's crazy. Seems like a lot of maintenance to go every 2 weeks, have them shaved down, glue it down again, and then they style it however you want it. But just go get the transplant. I mean, some people can't get a transplant because they don't have enough donor hair on the side to get enough transplanted on top. So
and then take the hair off your ass.
They could take it from under here. They could take it from your chest.
Oh shit!
But they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to take it from my chest. They took some from like under here.
Yeah,
like
but but chest hair is gonna grow like this big. It's more like value. How the fuck is that gonna grow like out to the hair?
They use it, Greg, in areas not for so much like they wouldn't like typically like you use it in the front. They didn't use it. I don't have any chest hair because I get lasered everywhere, but they would use it somewhere like for more density, like plate. They know where exactly to place the certain types of hair where it looks real,
okay.
like. And so,
Oh,
like,
that's
let's
cool.
say if you get a hair from like under here is coarse, it's going to be more coarse, obviously, because it does grow like the like your facial hair grows. So if you have some people have soft facial hair, some people mine's like really coarse because I could grow a beard in a day. I shaved like I think a day and a half ago, and it's already like this. So, I mean, mine grows fast. So, but if you they know how to put in they do a good job. They do awesome job.
See, I can't even grow a
So.
beard.
So if I put that hair on my head, I'll have like a fro. I'll have a fro in the front.
You'll have pubic hair on
You
your
have
head.
enough donor.
Pubic
You have
hair.
enough donor hair on the side. It looks like you
Remember
have
the
enough donor
expression
hair.
Jew fro? Right? Or
Picture
guys-
George with a full head of hair and him dyeing it like dark. He would look like 30 years
God.
younger.
Yeah, he would. He would look like a villain on a movie.
Yeah, but I think
well,
you
look,
should shave his head. Don't grow.
I'm not afraid. Look.
Yeah,
No,
but
don't grow that
Look at that.
out.
Look
You know
at
what
that.
that's gonna
What are you
look?
talking about, John? There's no reflection over that.
Georgie, you're blinding me
kidding
over
me?
here.
That's like that's what I got on top. That shit's gonna be like if I grew my hair, it'd be like cotton up there. You know what I mean? I look like Dan Duchesne. Remember Dan Duchesne had that hair at the end. He
You
had
still
that,
grow a lot on the sides though, Greg. Like you have to shave it all on the sides all the time.
I have no hair. It's like I can't grow a full beard or anything.
Huh.
When I was posing with Lee Priest, we were fucking around, right? And it was posing my legs, and Lee goes, "Why do you shave your legs?" I said, "Dude, look close. I don't shave my legs. I don't really have any hair. It's so small and so light that it's like it looks like I shave, but I don't shave. I don't need to. I'm lucky. I'm not hairy. I don't have any.
A lot of times when guys get older too, they start losing their hair on their legs. I know my
Well,
father, when he reached a certain age, didn't get his hair started falling out.
My father had that thick, dark haired Italian, like coarse black hair, real dark skin, but he wasn't, I don't know, he wasn't hairy on his legs. I'm not hairy on my legs. I don't know.
Dude, I was hairy as a gorilla. That's why I did laser hair removal like everywhere. I was hairy as a gorilla.
No, that's good though. I mean, if you as bodybuilder, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? You want to get rid of the hair there. So I would do it if I had to. At least you got hair. I can't even, you got more hair here than I even have in my head and my whole body. That's, you're lucky. If you could grow that crop of hair up there, not me.
What kind of Italian are you, Greg? All the Italian guys I know have full head of hair.
Oh, there's plenty.
No, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. You either have a thick, bushy head of hair or you're bald.
My father didn't even have a bald spot.
Mine either. My uncle had the thickest hair you could imagine when he died. It was unbelievable.
So did my father. He had thick black
like
hair.
Zito. You see Chuck Zito's hair? I always comment.
Zito's the same way. Yup. Zito's got a thick head of hair.
Are you Italian guys keep the hair? Us Irish lose our hair and our teeth.
No, it depends. It depends. There's plenty of bald Italian guys. Plenty. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. I just, I'm ugly whether I have hair.
You look good with the shaved head, though. Like you look good. I shaved my head before. It doesn't look good.
You gotta have the head.
You look good, dude. I'm fucking. I'm no Johnny Handsome. Trust me. I'm ugly.
We believe you.
I do get it constantly. People mistake me for Brad Pitt sometimes, but I tell them no, I'm not Brad Pitt. You might not believe this. But I'm just kidding.
On that amazing revelation,
you definitely don't look your age, though. You definitely do not look anywhere close to your age.
None of us do.
That's crazy.
Luke Carroll went to Turkey and got the hair transplants, and Phil V's went with him and he got it as well. And he had decent hair before, but now his hair is like crazy. Actually, when he was competing at the Cal Pro, people were referring to him as the guy with the hair because no one else had hair like that.
Larry, how old is he? The problem is if you do it young, though, like the transplanted hair.
He's like almost 40.
Okay, the transplanted hair won't fall out because it's DHT resistance, but the hairs around it, if you keep thinning, it's going to look weird because let's say you get a lot of hair transplanted here, but you're thinning like here or here, then that hair is going to still fall out. Then you have to go back. So usually they recommend like a couple transplants. Like I think Chris Bumstead had it done, I think 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
So because they can only do so many grafts in one sitting, so they usually do somewhere around 2,000 to 4,000 grafts, and then they have you come back for like
Holy
you know, they
shit.
might do the front wherever you want the most, mostly like in the front or back, and then you come back and do for another session, usually like a year or so later, because it takes a full year for the hair to fully, you know, grow out to,
Right.
you know, how it's permanently going to be. So
I think that's
Well-
better though than when they give the pills that fucking stop your fucking testosterone.
dude, those
DHT, what that
finasteride is
Propecia, whatever the fuck
finasteride's
that shit.
terrible.
Finasteride.
Yeah, dude, I took that for 6 years, and dude, it didn't mess up my sex drive because I was taking 1,000 milligrams of test on it. But for other people, it makes so many people get post finasteride syndrome where they're depressed afterwards for sometimes years. It causes a lot of mood side effects, and I don't like that drug at all. People ask me all the time.
How much were you
because I know
taking?
a lot about hair loss. I was taking a large amount of finasteride. I was getting the Proscar pills, which are prescribed for the prostate stuff, just because they were cheaper with the insurance. Those were
I was
5
calling you in
milligram, and
case
I
you
was
wanna
taking
come
up to
on the
5
show for
milligram,
5
and then I
seconds and say
switched up to dutasteride, and that's even stronger. And from dutasteride, I got gyno because I never had gyno issues, and I was like, "What's going on?" This is like at age like
Whoa.
24, and then I looked at the insert, and I'm
know
like,
you're in
could call it gynomastia, and I got gyno from
Jesus.
taking dutasteride, which is another name for it is Advodart. But I don't like those drugs at all. Some people take them and they're like, "I'm fine on them." I'm like, but when I got off of those, my strength and size went up dramatically once I got off,
No
because it
kidding.
does block, you know, a lot of DHT, and DHT you need for, you know, aggression, strength, and it was blocking a lot of my strength in the gym. So I don't like those. I don't like them at all. But you know, it works great for your hair. But as soon as you stop taking it, it slowly falls out in the next 6 to 12 months. So.
No,
Well,
yeah.
that's a lot of valuable information we've given everybody today. That's enough. We're gonna go ahead and get going. What I want to do is just tell everybody to be safe out there. Be careful. There's a lot of lunatics out there trying to kill you. At least that's my story. But all right, till next week. This is After Hours with the Whack Pack saying good
Have
night.
a good day.
And fuck off.
You guys.
Stuff